Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Kaotikast. Mystery time, yay!
Uh,
With
yeah, go ahead.
I thought you were saying, "Oh, I didn't press record."
No.
Here you go. But yeah, this is the newest episode, episode 22, which I lovingly deemed Mystery Time. With me, as always, Chaos and myself, Levy. A little background to the whole purpose of this episode is that I have the details of each topic we'll talk about, but he has only the titles. So he would have to pick a topic for this.
Interesting idea.
Yep. Well, then again, I blame another podcast that I got this from. Which, speaking of which, we'll start with the question: what have you been up to for the past week?
Not too much. Basically just in regards to the YouTube channel, basically just editing playthroughs, and I just recently started a new playthrough of one of the Fate games that people on my old channel for a while had been asking me to get to, but I never really got around to it, and I didn't get around to it before my old channel got terminated, and I didn't really get to it for basically with the new channel because I didn't have my old playthrough of the Fate games or any of my other playthroughs up. So like I said, it's that had kind of just killed my motivation to do any playthroughs in general for a while, but since of course I'd recovered everything, I decided I'm going to go back to some of my old playthroughs that I had not yet completed, as well as start a new playthrough that is in relation to one of my other playthroughs. So, figured it's as good as an excuse as any to go back to it. So that's pretty much what I've been doing in regards to YouTube. I've been working on an art commission. I've been trying to make some headway with that, and aside from that, mostly just college stuff, which is always fun. So yeah, not too much else.
Unlike me, I'm having to deal with my job working nights.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, well, do you want to tell the people what kind of job you have?
I think I did that last time. It's like a light. Yeah, I did. It's a lightsaber job, but now I'm kind of hating what I have to do now, which is making blades. It's tedious.
So
as fuck.
What were you doing? So do you make the hilt first and then the blade, or like is that the order you need to do it, or like
how this is done is now it's they just throw people all over the place. They'll have someone work in the shipping department, the labeling department, blades, and either basics or premium sabers, and then components or the parts.
So were you just doing like the components, or like, as you said you were doing soldering work?
Oh, well, yeah. The first job was like building the hilt or putting the parts or the hilt parts together.
So you
and then the other one was like making back. Yeah, well, they were just making us like do shit. They're like, "Hey, this is what we do. This is what we have to do. Work on." Then the next night was, "Hey, make battery packs," and then LEDs.
Yeah, I've seen the Ultra Sabers before. Those are really nice. Shame you can't you don't really have any sort of special employee privileges, like, oh hey, I can I take this one home or something.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Or
and
just
also,
at least get a
what
discount,
I hate now,
like a discount at the very least, I would think. But
yeah, I wish they would, but apparently I heard the boss is kind of a tight ass when it comes to shit like that.
That blows. That would have been one of the best parts of working at that kind of job.
Yeah, it's like get the parts, like buy the parts and just make it yourself.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah, that's what I would have done, but no.
Yeah.
But also, trying to think. Oh, earlier today, like an hour or two ago, I got an interesting phone call.
Okay.
One of the podcasts that I ended up not subscribing to, but supporting on Patreon, I left their phone number because they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do like these shout outs and all that." So I just left them my phone number and they gave me a call.
Oh, nice.
So it's like good. So I'm gonna be on like one of their podcast episodes. I think it's going to come out tomorrow.
So which podcast was it?
It's the Who's Right podcast. It's the one where it's like
yeah, you told me about that one.
Good podcasts, and it's a lot better than the other podcasts I listen to.
Yeah, I don't really think I listen to too many podcasts, to be honest. There's some I listen to.
Like the only podcast that I actually would listen to is besides Who's Right is Disc Only, which is like Proton John's podcast. But that's just mostly it. All the other podcasts I just don't give a shit about. Well, because it depends on my sense of humor.
Yeah. So I guess if you want to get into some of the main questions
or the podcast topics.
Well.
So it's like, I think how we're going to do it, you just pick the topic, because it's like 1 through 10.
Alright.
So it's like, pick the number between 1 and 10.
Okay. I know what some of these are probably about, but... That's what I'm saying. You probably already know what they're about. I definitely know what one of these is about. Let's go with the one that I think is most obvious. I like it the way you titled this one. Number 8, Attack on Mappa.
Yeah, for this one though, this was the one that you showed me, or I found out because of you.
Yeah.
Which was Attack on Mappa. The animation studio behind the last season of Attack on Titan started getting attacked
the current
by
season
fans. That's what I was meaning, the final season. The studio that's working on it.
Yeah. So in case you don't know, so basically I'll just give the brief backstory. So Studio Wit, the studio that had been working on Attack on Titan since the first season, basically it was done with the series after season 3. They were pretty much just tired of working on it, and they wanted to move on to something else. So they wanted to hand Attack on Titan over to another studio. The studio that ended up getting it was Studio Mappa. Studio Mappa has been behind some pretty decent shows. They're behind the current anime Jujutsu Kaisen. They've been behind some pretty other, decent shows before. So, I guess not a lot of people really knew about that until like they revealed like the first trailer for it, and I guess people were cautiously optimistic. But so far, people have been seemingly okay with the season. I'm sure there have been complaints already because the first episode they basically used CG for some of the Titans. However, people were pointing out, Studio Wit has done this as well with the CG for some of the Titans, such as the Colossal Titan. And Studio Wit's animation has not always been the best because people act as if Studio Wit was infallible when that's not really the case. And Studio Mappa has basically only had a year to work on the final season too. So they didn't have, another factor is they just did not have nearly as much time to really work on the animation for this for the final season in comparison to Studio Wit, who had much more time to work on each season of Attack on Titan. So Studio Mappa basically more or less kind of had to take some animation shortcuts. Most of the animation, I will say that doesn't mean the animation is bad. Most of it looks pretty damn good. The CG looks fine. It's not the worst CG I've ever seen. That would be like Berserk 2016.
Yeah, did we talk about that one?
The CG actually looks decent, and I guess the most egregious example of the CG so far in this season would be the most recent episode. So apparently, just because there was a lot of CG, just not only on the Titans but also some of the human characters in the episode, people got pretty upset about it. Now, granted, the CG looked, in my opinion, for the most part, the CG looked fine. There was maybe 1 or 2 examples I could point to where it looked a little bit wonky, but I didn't really have a problem with it. But apparently people were so upset with this that they decided to send death threats to some of the people who they at least thought were working on the episode. One of person was not even working on did not even work on the episode. So yeah, people were mad. Not even just the people that were sending death threats, but I was like reading, people's, like, because I like to read sometimes like episode discussions where people will go on forums and like talk about how they felt about an episode. So they were like, there are people talking about this on the forums, and some people were just so fucking ridiculous about this. They're like, I'm not going to watch this anymore. I'm going to go to the manga because this was the worst episode ever. I'm only going to watch like the dialogue scenes now. I'm not going to watch the action scenes anymore. This episode was disgusting. I'm just like, you guys are fucking, way overreacting about this. Like, and it's just like, I almost feel like they've been spoiled by the first 3 seasons because they've come to expect like god tier animation, and the animation in this season, it's not even bad. Like, I would say it's decent, maybe not god tier animation, but it's by no means bad, and these people are acting like it's the worst thing they've ever seen.
Like, fuck, Mappa has made some good anime. Like, sadly enough, I had to look up who they were and what they made. Apparently, they made Yuri on Ice, and guess what? Some of it was CG. When they did the ice skating, most of it was CG. Mm-hmm. But they did a good job with it.
Did you look up scenes from the episode in question, though?
Oh no, I've seen some of the clips in question, and I was just like, it's not bad. I mean, I've seen way worse. I've seen Berserk 2016 and Fate Stay Night, the first fucking the fucking CGI scene. It made zero sense.
Well, I think like if Mappa had been given more time to work on this, it would have looked amazing too. Like, I think that's the other problem. Like I said, the time constraints. I think just because they had a year to animate all this. If they had more time, I think it would have looked incredible, to be honest, because I've seen, like you even said, I've seen the other stuff they've worked on where they probably didn't have as much time constraint and they had plenty of time to work on it, and it looked fucking incredible. So, I mean, Mappa is capable of doing some amazing things. So I think people are a little bit too quick to jump down their throats. And I'm also going to go ahead and assume, because this is the final season and the manga for Attack on Titan isn't even going to be finished until this coming April, I think. So the manga is not even finished yet, but apparently according to, I guess according to the creator of the final, I forget who said this, but they said they were planning to adapt the entire story. So we're assuming that this is going to be like multiple parts. So this is probably just part 1. So if we're taking that into consideration, then, and if there is multiple parts, then I guess, hopefully the situation will be different with the second part or the third part or however many parts this is going to be, where they're going to have much more time to work on the other parts for the season, or for, the final season.
Oh, fun fact about Mappa 2. Apparently they are going to be working on the Chainsaw Man anime too. Which, that's probably why you got into it.
Oh, well, I mean, part of the reason.
You knew about it, but now it's like, they might make something good out of it.
Well, that's another problem with Mappa, is not only the time constraints, but they've been taking on so many different projects. Like, aside from working on this, they're also working on Jujutsu Kaisen. They already started working on the Chainsaw Man anime. And they're probably working on some other stuff too, so they've got their hands full. And I kind of worry about that, because I'm just like, you guys need to chill with the amount of projects you're taking on. I just hesitate to think at how much they're overworking the animators. The animators are probably just like, they have no time off.
Yeah, I just don't. It's like they kind of want to make them have crunch.
It pretty much is. It's like crunch from hell.
Yeah, it's just.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I really had to say about that. Like, it's just people are ridiculous, especially certain fandoms. This kind of reminds me of the time when people sent death threats to the Tokyo Ghoul author because he had Kaneki hook up with Toka, and people were upset because they wanted their yaoi ship. They unironically wanted the yaoi ship. They thought it was going to happen. And when it didn't happen, they started burning their manga volumes and sending death threats to Sui Ishida.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
We've seen this kind of thing happen in other fandoms in anime too. Not only Tokyo Ghoul, but also Bleach. Because people were upset with the Bleach ending, they started burning all their manga. They started, it's just Just like, guys,
Or
people just need to chill. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's still, like, at the end of the day, it's just it's a fictional story. It's not fucking real. You know, it's like, it had a bad ending. Get over it. Like, it's not the end of the world. You don't need to burn, like, hundreds of dollars of manga. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you bought it, so it's not really my place to tell you what you should do with it. But I just think it's stupid to burn hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of manga and merchandise you've got from the series just to try to, I don't know, prove some kind of point on social media or whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, to prove a point.
It just makes you look like a dumbass. Like, it really...
you gave them money. You gave them fucking money, and that's how you're doing it?
It is the equivalent of you burning your money. And then saying, ha ha ha, look, I burned my money. Like, you know, to Owen the haters or whatever.
Yeah, ha ha ha, look at me, I just did this shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't understand anime fans at all.
I mean, I think I do sometimes, and then I really don't.
I don't either. It just makes they just make zero sense to me. But
I mean, it's a lot of fandoms, though, to be fair. This kind of shit happens in a lot of different fandoms. It's just worse in certain ones, I guess.
It's definitely a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I think... I don't know if we can move on to another topic. Alright, so pick one between 1 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah, just pick a number between 1 and 9.
I want to know what bad views are. Like, what's that?
Okay, this is the one that this is the one I actually wanted to talk about, because actually it ties into something. Tommy Vex from Bad Wolves got kicked out of his own band over his political views.
Oh.
This is why I actually want to talk about this, and it's really fucking irritating nowadays. Because anyone can have a political Yahtzee? No, he actually showed support to Trump, and apparently,
well, yeah, I know. I'm joking.
And he also made a.
I kind of figured.
He also said that apparently, but also he said that BLM was created by a white man.
I'm not sure about that one.
And apparently, people got mad about it. He just went along with a conspiracy theory, and apparently, his bandmates told him, "Hey, you need to get out of the band. You're causing a scene."
So basically, they just permanently kicked him out.
Yeah, they permanently kicked him out.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just like, I just feel like it's a double standard, because people can talk about how much they love, you know, all the politically correct stuff and how much they love, Biden or whatever, and that's totally fine. But if you start talking about, you know, stuff like, you know, how much, if you like the Orange Man, that's not good. It's not okay.
Yeah, and I just don't understand why that is. But then again,
it's not the mainstream opinion. I think that's really what it is. Honestly, it's like, that's not what it's not. It's not politically correct, and it's not the accepted, basically the accepted or the mainstream opinion. So then, you know, you can't talk about it, basically. And it's just like, I mean, like, can we also go into how pussified all these fucking, like, rock groups and punk groups have become too? Like, aren't you guys supposed to be like the anti-establishment, like, you know, and you guys are like cucking to the fucking establishment? Like, what is the, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why all of a sudden are you guys just, is it because all of a sudden now everybody collectively in 2016 decided that, you know, Trump is public enemy number 1 or something like that? Like, so now everybody has to change their opinion. I just don't get it, you know? Yeah,
I don't get it either, and it just makes me wonder what the fuck's wrong with people. Like, also you have all these people that become, like, spirified or whatever you want to call it.
What's that?
Like, essentially they go, like, on this spiritualistic, like, journey. Like, Smashing Pumpkins is one of them.
So like some New Age hippie shit or something like that?
Yeah, that's like the best way to describe it. Yeah.
So what did Smashing Pumpkins do?
Well, apparently they had like I forgot what album it was, but it came with Tear Gardens by Kaleidoscope.
Oh, okay. So what happened exactly? Like they just became like really spiritual or something, or what did they do?
In a way, yeah. It's like I don't understand why most of these bands do this shit. And also, going back to the topic about political views, I don't like how it's like, oh, you have this opinion about something? Hey, you're fired. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like the whole, I mean, it really does go into the cancel culture thing. You can't have certain opinions, or if somebody catches you having certain opinions, they'll find out who you work for, get you fired. If your employer finds out you hold certain opinions, they'll fire you. Like what?
Yeah, dox
like,
you and shit.
It's just like, why is that okay now? Like, I don't remember that being okay before, but now all of a sudden it's okay to just fucking axe somebody if you don't like the way they think or their views on something.
Yep.
It's just incredibly fucked up, and I honestly feel like I hate to be black-pilled about it, but I feel like it's going to get worse.
Yeah, it is definitely getting a lot worse now.
They're talking about putting people on lists. If you supported the Orange Man, they're putting you on a list. They're going to find out who you are.
Well,
all this crazy shit. They're talking about re-educating your children, putting them in fucking camps.
Well, now we can't really do anything about that anymore, because today, which is not July, January 20th.
Yeah.
I wish it was like July 20th. Good Lord. But today was inauguration day of the new president, and I'm not going to go deep into it, because I know for a fact whoever people voted for, it's none of my fucking business.
Yeah, I really try not to talk about this kind of stuff too much in my other videos, just because of how divisive it is. I know it's especially in this day and age how divisive it can get, but at the same time, I'm going to be honest about my opinions. I don't want to sugarcoat things. If you can agree and you can disagree, I don't really care. That's fine. But I don't want to shove them down people's throats either. I'm not trying to. I'm just expressing the way I feel about things, and that's pretty much, But like I said, I try to not talk about it if I can help it, because I know it fucking annoys me when people, you're talking about something completely different, and then all of a sudden fucking Trump gets brought up, or some fucking, I don't know, some current day political shit, and I'm just like, how does this have anything to do with what we were just talking about? Like, it's just like, escapism is there for a reason. Like, I kind of try to see some of my videos that way. I just don't want to talk about that shit. I don't want to be a political commentator, because that's kind of just a minefield. Like, if you're trying to be some kind of political commentator on YouTube or something like that, I just it's like, I just want to do my playthroughs and my fucking review videos, and or sometimes maybe I'll be more open about some stuff on podcasts, but that's about it. I don't want to fucking be this person that just talks about politics, especially, like I said, especially on YouTube, because YouTube doesn't like you saying certain things, because then they'll demonetize your videos and fucking remove you from the website because you've expressed wrong opinions. So
yeah, what you claim to be big brained, nope.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, I'll just say this: I don't know what the future holds, guys. I mean, the best we can hope for is that this is going to be Obama 2.0 in terms, and I don't think he was a good president. I used to think he was, but in retrospect and like really looking at what this kind of stuff he did, I don't think he was. Biden hopefully will just be that again, but honestly, I think it'll just be worse. I just feel like it'll be worse
now. It'll be lost worse now, but hey, I stopped giving a shit about it, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to think about it. I guess that's just how I'll go through this presidency, is I'll just try not to think about the kinds of crazy shit he's going to try to pass through. And he'll be able to too, because because we did have the majority in the Senate, but now we have the Democratic majority again. So think about it this way: most everything he wants to pass through, he'll be able to get through, because now they have the majority again. And I don't know if the conservatives or whoever, because I really think there does need to either be a complete, the conservatives need to be, the neocons, I should say, need to be get rid of, and people actually care about the conservative party or conservative values need to be put in, because the neocons aren't going to do shit. But yeah, like I said, the Democrats have a majority. They're just going to do whatever they want, and there won't be much opposition, unfortunately. And I don't know if, we're going to get a conservative majority again, if this election was anything to go by. Because it's we had the upper hand, they had the upper hand, and then mysteriously it got, I think at around, when was the time? Around 3 a.m. It mysteriously got taken away. I wonder why that was, but I guess we shouldn't really question that too much. But, yeah, I won't say anything else about that.
Yeah, I'm going to move on.
Not 3 a.m. Actually, no, more accurately, it was 4 a.m. Both times, actually, during the presidential election and the Georgia runoff. Same thing happened, mysteriously. Just really, really weird how that worked out. Republicans were ahead, and then the 4 a.m. magic happened, and then they were way behind and they lost. Wonder how that works out.
It's magic. That's all you could say. It's just fucking political magic.
I'm waiting for the fucking FBI to pull up behind my fucking house and take me away because I just said that.
FBI, open up. Oh, shit.
That's gonna happen. It's not even an exaggeration at this point. That's gonna happen. They're gonna start fucking taking you in for saying things that are not approved.
You said what about our future president?
Yeah. Anyway, that's as much as I'm gonna say about that kind of shit. I just I don't want to go any further into my political rants, because otherwise we'll be here all fucking night.
Yeah, we'll be here all day. But yeah, let's move on. What is the fucking next one? 1 through 8.
Let's talk about Onion Boy. I already know what that's about.
Onion Boy. Oh, all right. Onion Boy. Great. Now we're moving away from politics and now onto YouTube shit. The documentary based on Onision was released earlier this month, and it's got a rise out of Onion Boy. But we have an update for this, by the way.
How many documentaries? Okay, well, before we even...
No, just one. Just one, because Chris Hansen was working on one, but he scrapped it. But Discovery Plus took over, which had it had interviews with Repsion, his exes, Chris Hansen, and his own dad.
Is this out? Can I watch this?
It is out on Discovery Plus. Shit. You can get the demo or the trial and watch it.
Was it just called Onision documentary or something?
No, it's called Onision in real life. Boy. But here's the kicker to this documentary. It had done more than what detractors of him have done for 10 years, which is YouTube finally demonetized all of his channels.
Oh, shit. So is he just having a meltdown right now because he has no money coming in?
Let's look this up on Twitter. Because funnily enough, that fucking asshole has not blocked me yet. Let's see. Onision.
Because I remember when something else happened and he had those video meltdowns, where he was just losing his shit.
Oh no! Apparently he hasn't. Apparently he hadn't said shit about his channels yet on Twitter, but on Twitter apparently he has I'm trying to think. Oh. He's showing clips of the documentary, and apparently he's like, "Nope, this never happened. This is wrong. They're trying to make me look bad." It's no, shut the fuck up. You did all this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of disappointed. I expected him to go nuclear about this. Okay, so what were you gonna? What was the main thing about that? Was it the documentary or?
That and also, oh lord, apparently he has a. Apparently his Speaks channel. Apparently he made responses to it.
On Onision Speaks?
Yeah, he made a response to his documentary. And apparently he's just trying to play victim, project all of his bullshit onto other people.
You know who I'm afraid for though is that kid that he's trying to raise with his
Wait, not his kid, his kids.
Oh,
he has two
shit.
of them.
I thought he just had one.
He has two.
Oh,
I believe.
When did he have the other one? Was that recent or was that late?
Oh wait.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep, here we go. Kai got pregnant with their son Troy in 2014, and in 2016 gave birth to their second child, which was their fucking daughter that fell out of the window.
I was about to say, which one was the kid that fell out of the window?
Their second one.
Oh my god, dude. Those kids need to be taken away. I'm sorry. I'm afraid for whatever's going to happen with those kids. I don't think they're safe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Onision is not a mentally sound individual, but he's been on YouTube for a very long time.
Let's see. Lord, apparently he has been downsizing homes.
Oh, really? Oh, is he still not living in that same house?
No, he downsized to a smaller house in 2018 because of I'm trying to think. Oh, because of his declining pay and his tax debt. Oh, but we're totally jealous of him, by the way.
Yeah.
Whatever that sounds like.
Yeah, Onision is a fucking character. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who this dude is.
I think everyone. My girlfriend doesn't know.
Have you read his books?
Motherfucker, I'm not. I didn't want to say anything, but hang on. I have to look at my. Hang on. Give me one moment. Just stall for time.
Yeah, Onision's books are. I've heard people read his books. They are very poorly written, to put it lightly. It's pretty much always from Onision. It's pretty much just about Greg, which is of course Onision, but it's about somebody else, but it sounds exactly like it's describing like something that happened in Greg's life. Like whenever he's trying to write about an other character, apparently he's still like writing himself, essentially. Like he's still just writing about himself. And all the characters are always pretty much like self-centered, selfish, just egotistical nut jobs. The world revolves around them. They're the coolest person in the story. Everybody looks up to them. Yeah. They're I think the one that people talk about the most is probably like Stones to Abigail. There was like Stones to Abigail was one of his books. I think he like wrote 3 different books. It was like Stones to Abigail. The other one was like This Is Why I Hate You. And then it's like,
yeah, those were the books.
Then there was another one. I forget what the fuck it was called. It was like it was something about him like it. Yeah, it was about him talking to aliens or something. Like, I just don't know what the fucking plot for that one was. That was so weird.
Yeah, funny enough, I don't know where I put them, but I do own Onision's books. I was gonna do like a fucking I was gonna do like a fucking video where I was gonna read the books, but apparently I don't know where I put them. All but the last one, Reaper's Creek. I'm looking at all his books. His first book has 3.5 stars on Amazon, which I don't know how. Second one is 2.5, and then 1.5 for Reaper's Creek. I will tell you, I'll read you the descriptions of these books because they have like I want to be direct. My name is Greg. I go by Onision online. This book is made up of events that occurred in my own life mixed with fiction from the made-up life of James. Okay, so you know how he came out and said his name wasn't Greg, it was James? Mm-hmm. This is why.
Oh, because of the...
because of the book. He created James, and he became James after he was accused of being a pet, like this pedophile groomer. And he's like, no, I'm not Gregory. My name's James.
So was he trying to be a character you wrote about? Basically, is that?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Essentially, Stones to Abigail was like events that happened to him in his real life.
I believe some parts are probably taken from his real life, like the stuff about his mom, and then probably him like hating his father or whatever that was. Like, and I think that might have been the other book, but like him hating his dad, and probably the stuff about him, like some of the stuff that happened to him in school. I don't think the school shooting happened or whatever the hell. It was like some school shooting happened in that book.
No,
but
here's James is essentially a better version of myself. His home, his school, and his life all resemble my own at his age. The people James analyzes and is surrounded by are not so alike to those I've known as well. I have experienced much of the loss James has. However, his happier moments are more often not also mine. I want to share my story with it without it being purely nonfiction. I simply felt this approach would make for a far better book. At points, I cried while writing this. At others, I laughed. I laughed. Stones to Abigail is not just a book I wrote. It's a piece of who I am. Yeah, a narcissist.
Yeah, he definitely comes off as a bit of a narcissist, and all these characters do too. I mean, I guess it makes sense considering the person writing those characters is a total narcissist, but the characters come off as a completely egocentric, narcissists. Everybody has to worship them.
Okay, you know how the Stones to Abigail was like a better version of James of Greg?
Well, according to him.
Well, according to him, this is why I hate you. Within these pages wait violent fights, disease, death, controversy, sexuality, tragedy, and crime. This journal documents a hateful young man's path to darkness. Did he seriously just call his book a journal?
Yeah.
Many events that occur are based on real events.
Yeah, that stuff about him being in the military, but obviously some parts of it are bullshit. Like him saying,
This was the one with the school shooting.
Oh, okay. Wasn't that Stones to Abigail? No. Stones to Abigail was the one with the school shooting.
It was.
This is why he was the one where he's in some like weird polyamorous relationship, and he joins the military, and he beats up people, and then the military like gives him rewards or promotes him for like, I don't know, fucking beating the shit out of people. It was so stupid. I'm just like, that's not how that works. Like,
anyway,
it was. I've heard people read these books. They're fucking dumb. Like, Onision is not a good writer.
You will find many moments from the authors. So multiple authors. There's no authors. There's no parentheses.
Yeah.
Own life strewn in, sewn in
like that in his books.
Yep. Yeah, his own life sewn into the life of Arthur Gale. You can only go so far before all of hope of return is lost. Ooh. This book reaches that point and goes even farther. James represented the light. Arthur is the dark. Oh, there is no hero. There's only Arthur. So
Onision, Onision is one of those people that never got out of the emo phase. It was like he's just been stuck in it for years, ever since he was a teenager. Like, he's in the edgy emo kid.
Look at his fucking haircut.
And he's in his mid to late 30s. He's probably in his mid 30s, mid to late 30s at this point, I think.
He is 35. He's mid 30s. And I'm almost to my fucking third. I'm almost to my fucking 30s. But it's sad. Anyways, good lord, that there's only Arthur. I can just imagine the Arthur theme song started playing. It's like when you're walking down the street.
Yeah.
With everybody that you want to meet from a different point of view. Anyways, Reaper's Creek. Oh, good lord. This is the one you were talking about, aliens. Yeah. But, Jesus. A young boy named Daniel encounters creatures from another world. They take him night after night into the black void of their reality till he begins asking questions. Why was he chosen? What do they want from him? Does he have to be a victim? Does he have to be a victim?
Well,
nobody asked that question.
Yeah.
They ask why me and what do they want.
Yeah, that would be the normal response, I suppose.
I think that's what Onision says to himself in the mirror. Is like, do I have to be the victim today? No, I'm just going to live my life normal today. The next day, he's like, should I be the victim? Yeah, I'm going to say it's Chris Hansen's fault.
Yeah.
Anyways, Daniel decides to fight as he rages war on those who try to harm him. He finds his own adventure. Love, loss, and chaos. This is the life of Daniel. Is he trying to go after Repsion here?
He could be. I mean, the Onision-Repsion feud has lasted years, so I mean, it could have been. It could have just been a coincidence, too, though. Well, I know this has been happening since like 2010.
How long has the Onision-Repsion had been married? What?
I'm gonna guess and say since 2010. They've been like talking about each other or making videos, or Daniel's been making videos about them. 2010, 2011.
2011 is when he started, but 2020 he went to court with him.
Yeah, so basically this has been going for almost like a decade.
Oh, apparently Repsion got his channel hacked on my birthday in 2017.
Oh god. Yeah. But I think I don't know. Is there anything else really to say about fucking Onion Boy other than his shit, talking about his shitty books?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares.
Onision, there's a lot of things that a lot of people have said about Onision, about he started a cult. He had a lot of what you'll hear about him is about his abusive relationships with his ex-girlfriends and how he's basically going to try to go to different states to marry like 16-year-old girls and stuff, and he kind of seems like a predator. Also just a mental manipulator, pretty much.
But he kind of has this mentality of the predator and prey. Yeah. Like he'll become the predator when nobody notices, but as soon as his predatorial senses come into view, he becomes the prey. It's like, that's not me. I never would do such a thing.
It's a manipulation tactic, though. When it benefits you, you become the victim.
No Gregory lives here. It's only George and Kai. And Troy and Chloe.
Anyways,
it's like, sir, your dog just fell out of the window. No, Chloe's in her room.
God. Yeah, I think.
While like stroking his hand like it's a cat or some shit.
Yeah, I think we should probably move on to the next thing, though.
Yeah, because I was creeping myself out for a second. Anyways, which one do you want to do next?
How illustrious?
How illustrious. Okay, this is good. There's gameplay for a game called a trailer for it called Ill, released from Cloud Games, and it's heavily inspired by Resident Evil and Doom.
I don't think I've heard of this.
Okay, I'm going to look this up real quick because I saw it and it looked great. So I gotta find it real quick. Because I retweeted it already, but I have to find it again. I don't even know where I put it because I think I retweeted it a long time ago. I said it looked interesting.
I mean, so is it? It's a combination of Doom and Resident Evil, or
that is the best way I could describe it.
That's kind of that's a weird combination because so it's like a fast-paced shooter, but also a survival horror game.
Here it is. This is just take a look at that really quick because I found it. Here's why I say it reminds me of Doom and Resident Evil combined. You can see exactly what I mean.
Oh, okay. So like when you say Resident Evil, it's kind of like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, I can kind of see.
Or the whole creepy atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely reminds me of
but
Resident
with
Evil
Doom,
7.
But also like Doom elements because the way that the I wouldn't say the way the characters look, but the way that the view looks.
Yeah, I mean it looks interesting.
Yeah, I actually want to. If this game does come out for like later on, I do want to play it.
Yeah, I might have to check that out.
But yeah, the question of the hour, does it look good? I say yes.
Oh yeah, definitely for an indie game it does.
Definitely for an indie game. It's like, but keep in mind, indie games aren't good. Indie games are trash. But what's this, Hades? Oh, never mind. Indie games are good now.
Yeah, people it just kind of annoys me how people write off indie games. It's like there's all different kinds of indie games. It's not just like one type of game. Like I think when people think indie games, they just think like arty-farty walking simulators or something. And it's like that's not all it is.
Yeah, and guess what? There are AAA games that are like that too.
Yeah.
Death Stranding.
Yeah. Yeah, the entirety of Death Stranding is basically a walking simulator.
It's funny. One of my coworkers, he was saying that something about indie game sold. That's all that people have is just indie game sold. I'm like, at first I was kind of confused, and he's like, "Have you ever been salty at something before?" So I was like, "Yeah." I remember people were really salty over Undertale, and they said that the game sucks.
Yeah.
Like, agreed. It's like they all think that indie games are just artsy fartsy, not just walking sims, but they think, oh yeah, the game tries to tell a story, but it's too preachy. Then you look at Last of Us Part 2, and it's like, hey, this game is incredibly preachy in the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. It just shoves it down your throat. You know, it's like, that's the bad kind.
Yeah, the very bad kind. But there's some games or some things that can be preachy, but in a good way. But it's far in between.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like, I mean, I guess I can point to examples, maybe like Spec Ops: The Line or something. Maybe like it was like.
Spec Ops: The Line is a good example because it's like it's preachy that war is bad, but at least you can see why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or another one is Spiritfarer, which is like, yeah, death is a thing. Yeah, this person's dying, but the way that they do it is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have to say on that. It's like people who think indie games are dumb, they clearly have not played good indie games.
Clearly.
Or they're just too shallow.
Yep. So I think we can probably move on to the next one.
Have you played Hades yet?
I have not played it yet.
Then you are close-minded. Yes, let's move on. Which one sounds more appetizing for this?
What's Symbol of Hope?
Okay, this is. I just threw this in because it's actually good. Mark Hamill thanks Peyton Reed for his role on the season 2 finale of Mandalorian, calling it a symbol of hope for the franchise. I saw that and I was like, "This is good," because I think we talked about Mandalorian season 2 before, how it pretty much just retconned all the shitty things about Star Wars and is like, hey, it's its own thing now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Mark Hamill. Yeah, did go on Twitter and basically thank Peyton Reed and say, talk about how excited he was to play Luke again, how good it felt to play Luke again. It's and he also kind of said something like, oh, it's great that something along the lines of like I liked how I was able to play Luke as he was originally, or something like that, or I forget the exact words he used, but people kind of took that as him throwing shade at the Last Jedi version of Luke and Rian Johnson's, Luke Skywalker or Jake Skywalker or whatever you want to call him. Which could be the case. I mean, as we know, Mark Hamill was obviously not thrilled about his role of the Last Jedi.
I wouldn't be either.
I mean, if you look at interviews,
yeah, it's like, hey,
if you look at interviews with him, he pretty much outright says like he fundamentally disagrees with the way that Ryan handled his character, and that's not something Luke would do, and all this other stuff. So,
I actually do remember that fucking interview, because there was one he's like, I didn't like what they did with it, but a week later it changed to, I think he did a really good job with Luke. I think they did a really good job with The Last Jedi. I'm like, no, you didn't.
It's probably because Disney was like telling him he needs to change his tune, basically.
Do you want your paycheck? Do you still want to be Luke Skywalker? Then shut up.
Okay, so the thing about Luke Skywalker and the Mandalorian is apparently like nobody in Lucasfilm actually knew what they were going to do that, because apparently Kathleen Kennedy is like, because I thought she might have been involved like at some capacity with the Mandalorian, or she would have some say in what's going on with the Mandalorian, but she doesn't have any apparently, like, according to either rumor or people who have inside information, like, she doesn't have any say or any authority as to what happens in the Mandalorian. So they can basically do what they want. So they basically, like, they kept it a secret on the set, and that Luke was actually going to show up in the last episode, apparently, so nobody really knew about it. Or, like, some people knew about it, but not everybody knew, I guess. Especially not the whole Lucasfilm knew what was going on with that. So I get, when Kennedy found out, she was, of course, probably upset about it. So, I mean, according to rumor, they did not know that Luke was going to show up in the last episode, and because of course, as we know, like right after Luke Skywalker shows up, or right after, not too long after that episode, Lucasfilm puts out the High Republic stuff, and they're basically, according to rumor, I should say, they're saying that the reason why the High Republic was not received well is because of people being hyped over the Luke Skywalker scene in The Mandalorian, which I call bullshit on, because I'm like, if you guys put out a product people would be interested in, it wouldn't have mattered if Luke showed up or not. People still wouldn't have given a shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Luke's gonna show up, I know, and he doesn't show up. Well, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, if I wasn't spoiled that Luke Skywalker is a Mandalorian, I would have been shitting bricks.
Yeah.
But apparently, no, I had it spoiled, so I was like, well, great, the thrill's gone. Where's my hype boner when I need it now?
I got kind of spoiled, but I was still excited when I actually saw the scene. I just didn't watch the scene. I just saw the image, and I kind of already knew. I'm like, yeah, that's probably going to be Luke. I can't imagine it would be anybody else, because, green lightsaber, who else is it going to be?
Yeah, it could have been Yoda.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But he grew taller? Like I knew one character was going to be in it, because they didn't show it. I didn't get spoiled by that, but I kind of pieced together it could have been Boba Fett.
Oh, you mean in the first episode?
Because the first episode where they're like, "Oh, hey, it's Boba Fett's armor." Wait, you're not Boba Fett.
Yeah, the Marshal.
And then you see someone looking at a distance over the Mandalorian. As soon as he gets his armor, I was like, Boba Fett?
Yeah.
That Boba Fett. And then all of a sudden he shuts up, like, yeah, it's Boba Fett, yeah! And I clapped myself because nobody was in the room with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my second favorite episode probably is the episode where Boba Fett actually fights those stormtroopers. I know a lot of people said, like, they didn't like that episode or something. I was like, I don't know what you people were watching. I thought that episode was fucking great.
Like, a lot of people said that the last episode, that one, and the one with Ahsoka was shown were the best episodes.
Oh, okay, yeah, I will say that. The Ahsoka one was my second favorite. I guess my third favorite, technically, is the one where Boba Fett's fighting the Stormtroopers.
The finale was probably your second favorite.
No, the finale is my favorite. My like I said, third favorite is the Stormtrooper versus Boba Fett, and the second favorite is the Ahsoka episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I knew a lot of people did not like that episode for one thing. Baby Yoda having a fucking name.
I mean,
Grogu. It's like, it sounds like Prego or Ragu.
Yeah, I mean, people. I mean, people. I think the name that has grown on people because they call him Grogu now, but some people still just say Baby Yoda. Well, a lot of people still just say Baby Yoda.
Well, I always do, because that's how I knew of him. It's the same thing with, like, speaking of, like, people calling it something. Have you seen the trailer for Bowser's Fury for Super Mario 3D World re-release for Switch? They introduced Big Bowser, like, kind of like a colossal Bowser, and then someone, I think it was like Matt McMuscles, named it Godslayer Bowser. And the internet had kept calling him Godslayer Bowser.
I think I heard about that somewhere.
Yeah, and apparently Mario turns into a Super Saiyan furry.
Jesus.
Because he gets colossal. His cat suit looks like the golden hair of a Super Saiyan. And they're about to face off in a fucking kaiju battle type thing.
When did Mario become Dragon Ball Z?
I don't know, but it looked good though. But apparently people kept calling it Godslayer Bowser, but it wasn't his name though, because Nintendo was like, that's not his name.
Yeah, but it'll probably stick just because the internet calls him that.
Apparently they called it Mega Fury Bowser.
But that doesn't sound as cool.
Godslayer Bowser. I loved how someone like threw in the Yakuza text for Godslayer Bowser. I was like, that was beautiful. I was like, this makes me want to get the game.
Or the Goomba.
The Koopa clan. And then you have Kamek, like the second hand. It's like that trailer made me want to get Super Mario 3D World again, because that game was actually fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we move on from Star Wars and other nerd talk. What else do you have to want to talk about?
Okay. I think I might know what this one is. Yahtzee.
Okay, good. Yeah, I showed you this one. Yahtzee, or Zero Punctuation, released his games of the year, his good by adding bland games. Mm-hmm. And I have the list right here to like show you like exactly what it was.
Yeah, I watched the video, so. Yeah.
Oh, you watched it? Okay. How did you feel about his list?
I agreed with most of it. I mean,
especially the worst one.
Yeah, for sure. But just remind me again of what some of the other ones were, because I think I forgot about some.
Okay. I'll go over the list again. I'll go over his worst game of the year from worst to like his least worst to worst. Mm-hmm. He put Deadly Premonition 2, Minecraft Dungeons, Battletoads, Remothered Broken Porcelain, and Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I like Remothered, I have to agree. Remothered Broken Porcelain, it seemed like that, was not very good.
The only game I would disagree was Minecraft Dungeons. Like, it wasn't that bad of a game. But I do agree that it's like, hey, it's a game about Minecraft, but it plays like Diablo.
Yeah, I mean,
but not that good.
A little bit different.
Like, I wouldn't call it one of the worst games. Like, I've played worse.
Yeah.
All right. For his bland games, which is essentially, these are games that he didn't call them bad, but they weren't good either.
Okay.
He put Amnesia Rebirth, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Serious Sam 4, Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope, and Marvel's Avengers as his blandest game.
Yeah, Marvel's Avengers was disappointing. thing to a lot of people just because they thought it was going to be something, amazing, and it ended up kind of being a buggy mess and just kind of
And they lost a shitload of players after that.
Yeah.
And money.
Amnesia Rebirth. The only one I played on that was Amnesia Rebirth. Amnesia Rebirth is, I have to agree. It was okay. It was not as good as Dark Descent. But it wasn't.
It wasn't what you were expecting.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. I don't know. I'd probably give it a 7 if I were to give it like a number score.
Oh yeah, did you play Dark Pictures Anthology?
I played Man of Medan.
But you didn't play Little Hope? Yeah, because I was hearing Little Hope was not as good as the first one.
Man of Medan wasn't that good either, so that's not...
Yeah, exactly.
Oof.
Alright, and now, here's the list you're probably not going to agree with, which was, he put from least best to best, which was Ghost of Tsushima, Half-Life Alyx, Yakuza Like a Dragon, a tie between Hades and Bullets Per Minute, and Spiritfarer.
Yeah, I know he has, it was Spiritfarer was his best. I mean, I guess I can see the complaints with Ghost of Tsushima, but I don't know.
But here's my thing with that, though, because I have actually played Spiritfarer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad, but at the same time, it's just
you would put it as game
I
of
don't
the
know.
year.
I would have given it to Hades, honestly, but at the same time, I understand his point. And I never played Bullets Per Minute, but I kind of want to try it out because, funny enough, anything that he's made a best of, I actually try him out. I was like, yeah, this game's good.
Yeah, I think I heard of Bullets Per Minute. Never played it, but I heard it was a good game. Oh
yeah, and he said Yakuza Like a Dragon. Apparently, he called it a return to Yakuza form. Because apparently he said that
it's got the typical Yakuza formula, but it just has, instead of action combat, turn based.
Yeah, and apparently he also said that he thought that Yakuza 6 and Judgment weren't that good.
I hadn't played them, so I can't really say.
Yakuza 6, it wasn't bad. That was funny enough, the first Yakuza game I beat.
The last one, technically.
Yeah, no. First, no. In the whole games, that was the first game I've beaten in that series. Yeah. I played the last one first.
Well, it's kind of actually...
And then I started playing them.
With me with Metal Gear Solid. I played Metal Gear Solid 4 and beat it first.
And I got my ass yelled at for it. And then Judgment... I wouldn't say Judgment was a bad game. It just... Some parts of it could have been better, but it was a fun game. And Yakuza Like a Dragon is a return to Yakuza-style humor and form. And gave us a likable character, too.
Yeah, I hear Ichiban is a good replacement for Kazuma Kiryu.
Yeah, and the guy they got to play the English voice acting was actually good.
Yeah, apparently they even went out of their way to, match lips with the voice performance for the English dub. They went out of their way to, I guess, precisely time the voices to match the characters' lip movements.
I think they tried doing that as well with Judgment, but not that good. But yeah, at least it's better than fucking Final Fantasy VII remakes, which was English barely matches. This game sucks.
I mean, to be fair, that's also a criticism I've heard with Ghost of Tsushima. If you play the game in Japanese, it's not natural because the voices don't really match up with the lip movements. So it's kind of obvious it's being meant to be played in English.
Yeah, but the dub for that one wasn't bad either.
No, the Ghost of Tsushima dub was actually good.
Yep. Well, that's it though. We agree and disagree with his list, but
yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with the worst games. I
agree.
I mostly agree with the other stuff too. So
yeah, anytime I see the best game and they put Last of Us Part 2, and they said, it was a good experience. It's like, really? Not from what I've seen.
Yeah. I don't really get the argument where people are like, you need to play the game. It's like, not really. It's not.
You don't have to.
It's a very story-driven game with a lot of cinematics. Like, I don't understand why I need to pick the game up and play it. Like, okay, if the game has a heavy emphasis on story, what's the point of me playing through that game and experiencing a story I know that I hate, when I could just watch somebody play the game and watch the cinematics and
or just watch the cutscenes. Yeah, it's like, I'm now reminded, like, there are people that will fucking discredit you because did you play did you play the game? You didn't play it?
I played the first Last of Us game. The second Last of Us game has very similar gameplay. I know I'm not missing much by not actually playing the game. If in terms of like not experiencing the gameplay, it's like you're not really missing that much. It's more or less the same from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's like, I know of the story. It had been leaked. It is very disappointing. It is stupid. They ruined everything that people loved about the first one.
I don't understand as a fan why you would like that sort of thing, but I mean, people have been saying it's pretty much the Last Jedi video games. I mean, Star Wars fans who were fans of Star Wars somehow like the Last Jedi, and it's like, they can like the Last Jedi. I'm just a little bit baffled why you would want to see the character assassination of Luke Skywalker, but it's to each their own, I suppose.
Well, some people like the visuals of it.
Sure.
Some people like...
I mean, the movie has an load of budget, so I mean, sure, it's going to have pretty visuals.
I would rather watch Last Jedi than The Rise of Skywalker again.
Honestly, I'm a little bit on the opposite there. I'd rather watch Rise of Skywalker just because it goes by quicker and it's not as painful.
And it makes you laugh.
It's just a dumb movie. I mean, both are dumb movies, but one is just a malicious movie, if that makes any sense, because it actively tries to shit on characters, and Rise of Skywalker is a lazy, half-assed attempt to try to fix something that's already been ruined, and just kind of ruins it even more.
I agree. I think we move on from Yahtzee. Check. Yahtzee's done. Check. That's done. All right, there's 4 more topics. Let's pick it wisely.
Okay. Okay, yeah. You're no longer a PogChamp.
Alrighty, good. You're gonna hear me go into like pure fucking hatred with this.
I don't know what this would be, honestly.
Okay, Twitch removes the PogChamp emoticon right. After the face of that emoticon incited violence during the Capitol Hill raid.
What?
Yeah. Hold on. I don't know. Hold on. I have to look up the name because I know it starts with a G.
Wait, so was somebody like come there with like some kind of
Ryan Gutierrez or Gutex. Okay. He was a fighting game personality that people loved. However, he was claimed that he was engaging in promoting far-right conspiracies and spreading misinformation and denial of COVID-19. This was in 2020. He was petitioned for. Yeah. However, he was also supporting the death of a protester during the storming of Capitol Hill.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and apparently people got pissed off at him and they removed it. Honestly, I could give 2 shits about it.
I don't... I mean, first of all, I don't really... I need context. I don't really believe shit like that because people just...
It has happened. I can find an article for it if you want to.
All the stuff about him, the conspiracy theories and the COVID or whatever. Like, I mean, it's just like, what did he say? That's kind of what I want to know.
I'm looking this up. Let's see.
So basically,
it's a part of cancel culture.
Oh, was he speaking out against cancel culture, or was he like supporting cancel culture? Like, what was he saying?
Okay, let's see. Someone made a quote say had Twitter made the decision to ban the U.S. account for engaging in violence, but not Gutex's tweet. What did Gutex say?
Yeah.
Let's see. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what the fuck did he say though?
I'm not in support of anybody being removed just because they express an opinion. If they're calling for like violence or if they're celebrating somebody's death, like that's one thing. But if they're like just expressing an opinion, like I don't agree with that.
Okay, he made a tweet asking his fans on Twitter if there would be a civil unrest for the woman who was executed inside the Capitol.
Oh, okay. He's talking about the woman that was shot by the yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Like what? So wait. It was they said that he was
he was encouraging further violence,
and he said, "I wonder if there'll be any what did he say again?
Civil unrest for the woman who was executed."
Yeah, but I mean that's pointing out the hypocrisy of the situation.
Question.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I mean maybe he could have worded it better, but yeah, I don't think that's necessarily really promoting violence.
I agree.
It's just saying like I
just
wonder if anybody's going to
happen.
get upset because this woman was unjustly killed. I mean, as far as I know, she was killed for just climbing through like a window. She was shot and killed. I seriously do think that the person that shot her, the officer, should definitely face some repercussions for what he did. I don't know if he's going to, but he should.
I found the tweet they said. He says, "Will there be a civil unrest for the woman who was executed inside the Capitol today, or will the hashtag MAGA martyr die in vain? The video will be aired soon. Band.com and the Resistance video, and it's pretty gruesome. And apparently, he couldn't post the video because it was banned. Because Twitter tried banning
I'll say this too: there are probably many different people on Twitch. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's probably many different people on Twitch who have said far worse things. But the difference is they probably said them in support of, the politics that Twitch agrees with. So. That's totally okay. But when you say stuff that is, well, let's be honest, not even really condoning violence or anything like that, but if you have an opinion that's in opposition to what they, the stuff that they want you to say, then that's not okay and they'll remove you. I mean, because that's what every platform seems to be doing nowadays. It's like, you speak out against the things we're trying to promote, then you can go. We're going to remove you from our platform.
Yeah. And that's all they're doing nowadays. And
it just kind of seems like they're canceling somebody just based on him not really following in line with their political beliefs, which happens to be pretty much every big company's political beliefs nowadays. So I'm not surprised. So they basically canceled him, and I guess they're removing the PogChamp thing because it represents him.
Yeah,
it's just like guys, when are you going to realize this censorship is not? It's not good.
It kills the industry.
It's just we're going down a dark path with this fucking censorship. Of people that we don't agree with. We're shutting out ideas that we don't like, and I'm telling you right now, when you shut out ideas that people you don't like, more people are going to flock to those ideas being expressed because it's seen as taboo. People. Yeah. It's what do you call it's kind of like the Streisand effect. If you try to censor things enough, if you try to ban things enough, more and more people are going to see why those things are banned. They're going to want to listen to those people or whatever. It's going to have the opposite effect, basically. I just don't know how people have not realized this yet.
Oh, yeah. They'll never see it, though, because they'll just be too blinded with rage. They removed PogChamp. Twitch is evil. Honestly, I don't give a shit about Pog. Mm. Pog is stupid.
Yeah. It might be stupid, but I don't support the removal of it just because of a fucking stupid reason like this. It's like,
I agree.
It's like
I
Pepe.
agree.
I'm telling you right now, Pepe's gonna be next. They'll fucking try to scrub Pepe from everything because it's seen as racist or whatever.
I think they already did. Let's see, Pepe meme.
I mean, because I know like the fucking what was it? ADL say it's like a hate symbol. That's some bullshit.
Okay, yeah, I found an article. Pepe the Frog died, but part of the internet died with him. Let's see. Birth of the meme, cause for celebration. Okay, never mind. This isn't what I thought it would be. I don't give a shit anymore about that one. But here's my thing, and this is like a really big pet peeve of mine. When people say the word "pog," like, "Oh yeah, this happened." Oh, pog. Just say good. Just say, "Oh, good," or "That's interesting." But saying pog, it makes you look like a fucking degenerate.
I didn't even know much about the meme.
I didn't know much about it, but when I found out about it, I was like, okay, it means excitement or happiness. But when you hear someone keep saying pog over and over and over, it's like, would you please shut your fucking mouth about it? We get it. You're excited about it. Oh, pog.
Okay, so is that just something they say a lot in like the FGC or something? Is that like an FGC meme, like the pog shank or whatever?
Honestly, I think it's for like people that getting close to their 40s trying to relate to people.
So it's how do you do?
Yeah, essentially, it's Steve Buscemi coming up to you like kids' clothes and holding a skateboard. That's essentially all it is. I can just imagine it's like, how do you do, fellow poggers?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know about the meme, but I don't know much else about it. So, yeah.
Then again, I think the one thing that really fucking irks me is when they repeat something over and over and over, and they think it's funny.
That's how memes die.
Like, I can do that too. It's like,
arrow to the knee. For all the old fags that remember that fucking meme.
Yeah, I remember that meme, and apparently when people found out, hey, it meant marriage, they got bored with it.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I remember in high school, like when Skyrim was big, people would repeat the fucking memes from Skyrim just ad nauseum and would think that they're the most hilarious thing ever. And I'm just like, okay, it was funny the first few times, but now it's not fucking funny anymore. And I had to hear about it for like weeks, about the fucking arrow to the knee and all this other stupid shit that I thought was like, but it's mostly just arrow to the knee. Like, they had nothing else. It was just like they got all their fucking memes from like 9gag, and I mean, like, they just didn't get it from anywhere else, or I don't even think they even really fucking played the game. They just like heard that meme and were like, oh, it's the most hilarious shit ever, I'm just gonna repeat it forever. But yeah, that shit fucking got on my nerves real goddamn quick in high school.
Oh, I used to play football like you until I took an arrow to the knee.
Yeah.
It's like, I like what they were trying to do with it. They say, oh yeah, it's saying that he got married. And then when people found that out, they're like,
that's retarded.
And then just dropped it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's kind of like some form of romanticism, but it's people are stupid. They just think, hey, yo, girl, look at my dick. Oh, I'm a romantic now.
Yeah. Yeah, but I hated that in high school, though. People would just like repeat these fucking memes that they thought were hilarious, and it wasn't just arrow to the knee, it was other stuff too. It was whatever was popular at the moment, they would just repeat, and they thought it was just fucking hilarious, and I was just like, okay, guys, it's not funny now. Stop. I don't know.
Like, please stop doing this.
Yeah.
What was another thing? Oh, apparently Phil tried to come up, back to PogChamp. Apparently Phil tried to do the PogChamp face to make his meme.
That must look horrifying.
And apparently, he looks like he's having a fucking stroke.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, I can see that.
He looks like he's having a stroke. He looks like he's in his fucking 60s. For someone that looks who's 37, 38 years old, he looks fucking awful. Well, so him making a pog face just makes him look like he's having either a stroke or a really bad orgasm.
Yeah, it's probably just because of he doesn't get out ever. He doesn't exercise. He sits in his fucking couch all day. He plays video games.
No, he goes. He exercises. He goes to the store.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He lifts up fucking grocery bags, like 3 grocery bags in each hand. That's his exercise.
Poor baby.
poor him.
That's and then of course the modern problems of it's so hot in my office, guys.
It's so hot in my office. It's 85 degrees outside. Oh, boo-hoo!
Oh,
God. I had to deal with temperatures like close to 100.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Texas, so
yeah, and you're not in Texas. Like what was the hottest that ever gotten over in North Carolina?
Maybe a little over 100, but usually the hottest it'll get is like 80s, 90s,
like probably low 90s, maybe.
Yeah,
mid.
that's
Well, ours is like high 90s to like low 100s with high humidity.
Oof, jeez. Yeah, well, the humidity's bad here too, so.
Well, yeah. Well, it also makes sense because where I'm located, I'm close to the ocean, but where you're located, you're like far away from it, but your state's close to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about like 3 hours away from like the coast, so that's.
Yeah, it's. But remember, Pog is bad.
Anyways, I think we can probably move on to the next thing.
Yeah, there's only 3 left.
Okay, big titty Koth chick.
Oh, goody. I thought you would have gone for this one first because of titties.
I was going to eventually.
Yeah, apparently the reason why I put this one on there because Capcom showed off a little snippet of Resident Evil 8, and they featured a big titty, tall vampire chick, and the internet started to love her.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah.
I will fucking find that.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. They don't have a name for her yet.
Yeah, it's... Apparently the entire internet started sipping for her, I guess.
So... Someone's like, guys, the vampire lady is actually extremely tall. But she reminds me of Lust from Fullmetal Alchemist in a way. She does. Like the tits, her attire, and the nails stabbing. It's like, yep, that's fucking Lust.
Kind of does look a little bit like that.
It makes me want to get a PS5 and buy the game now.
Or I could just get it on PC instead.
PC, possibly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is going to come to PC.
I think it is coming to PC.
I'd be shocked if it
Or
wasn't.
PS. Resident Evil 8 not coming to PC.
It's like that's not a very good business decision.
Resident Evil, yep, it is coming. Yep, Windows, PS5.
That's what I thought.
Xbox X. Except I don't know why. It was announced for PS5, but then they're like, oh yeah, it's coming to other consoles too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I saw the memes of this chick. I don't really, that's all I really know about it.
At least you didn't see the Rule 34.
I'd honestly rather not.
I did, and it was somewhat hilarious.
I'll bet.
It's like a woman that's like close to like 8 foot tall, trying to be fucked by a man that's like 5'5".
Oh, so he's a manlet too.
Essentially, yeah.
Is that how tall Ethan actually is, though?
Honestly, it's hard to say. I do not know. Ethan Winter's height. Let's see if they actually reveal it. Well, I was kind of off. He was 5'11".
Okay, so he's that's just average.
I would have laughed if he was 5'5". I have to look this up. Hold on. Vampire lady height.
It's just called Vampire Lady.
Well, she doesn't have a name yet. She's just called Tall Vampire Lady or Tits McGee. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with her because they're bringing in werewolves and vampires.
I mean, at least just something different. I just kind of wonder how they're going to implement it.
I wonder if they're not going to. I wonder if they're going to pull the Order 1886 and be like, "Oh yeah, there's vampires and all that, but we're not going to show them."
Well, the Order, I think it was like werewolves. Wasn't it just werewolves, or was it vampires too? Because I just remember it was like a werewolf. People could turn into like lycanthropes, werewolves.
Yeah, it's more like lycanthropes and all that. Yeah. I think that game was kind of overhated.
It was. I mean, it's an okay game. It's just really short, and
I would have paid $30 or $20 instead of $60.
It's definitely a $20 game or $15 to $20 game.
But visually, it was impressive. Like, visually, it was impressive. Gameplay was okay. I liked the characters for it, but the length was where it got me, and the story was misleading.
Yeah, I mean, it was a serviceable game at best. I think it's just, mostly just forgettable. That's the biggest problem. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get a sequel, obviously, even though the ending seems to set things up for a potential sequel.
Yeah, and it never happened. I wish it would happen, show what happened to Galahad, Sir Galahad.
I mean, because it has an interesting world and some interesting characters, but I just think that if they fix the gameplay and parts of the aspects of the story,
make it longer, and make it longer,
not as linear.
Or they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's getting a sequel in TV format."
Oh Jesus, yeah, I don't think I would care about that, to be honest.
Possible sequel, despite the mixed reviews. Ready at Dawn president and newly appointed CEO, both of them expressed producing more entries in the game in the future. One of them said that although developers wanted to retain ownership to its intellectual property, it needed approval from Sony.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon.
Mm-mm. And this game came out 6 years ago.
So, and any hope for a sequel is pretty much, very, very, very low. Yeah.
Let's see. Praise, game's production value, graphics, and technical achievements. But the length, story, gameplay, replay value, and involvement of the player was criticized. Okay. We get it. You hate good games.
Yeah, I think we can probably move on to the next thing, though.
So there's lovable asshole or bad hypotheticals.
I guess we could say the let's do bad hypotheticals. Actually,
you're gonna get. I think you've heard of this one, but you're gonna get kind of pissed off about this one. Greg Miller asks a hypothetical question to Neil Druckmann,
I saw that,
saying, "What game would he like to do in the following?" He said, and in quotes, he wants to make either a Cowboy Bebop game, Half-Life, Ghost Rider, Hotline Miami, or Punisher.
Yeah, I think this was definitely a bad
hypothetical.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a marketing thing, though. I'm pretty sure, like, behind the scenes, Neil was like to Greg, like, "Hey Neil, or hey Greg, ask me this question on Twitter, and it'll get more people interested in basically supporting us or our products or whatever the fuck reason." He asked him to do that.
It's like, hey Greg, I know you're a fat cunt, but can you ask me that question on Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the Half-Life thing, I did know before the whole fiasco with The Last of Us Part 2 that apparently Naughty Dog was interested in the Half-Life IP. Like, I forget how long ago this was, but I heard rumors about that. But, of course, Valve doesn't, is kind of just didn't want to give it to them, I guess. Didn't want to give the rights to them.
Oh, Valve doesn't want to get rid of that.
I mean,
no.
They would kind of be stupid too, though, because I mean that's one of like Valve's flagship franchises, so I don't think they should honestly hand it off to another developer. And I mean, not to mention we have at least gotten another Half-Life game recently with Half-Life Alyx, and that has given people hope for the potential of a Half-Life 3 if it ever does happen, which I don't know if it will, but hopefully someday. But anyways, yeah, the other games are just like, why would,
Punisher.
like, okay, well, I mean, I guess Punisher's likely, but like Hotline Miami, like,
No, because the guys behind Hotline Miami said that they're not going to make it anymore. The second one was their final game, so why the fuck do you want to make... Oh, we're going to make a... How would it even work? Make it like third person, like Last of Us, one hit kill. Oh, restart the whole level
again? It wouldn't be like the other two, though, because, I mean, it would be something entirely different.
Like I said, it'll be, instead of like bird's eye view retro looking, it'll be like 3D third person, highly technical, and it's like one hit. Okay, you gotta wait for this game to load so that you can play again.
Yeah. But yeah, I just what was the other one again? The other games he's...
You already said Half-Life. You said Ghost Rider was another one. That won't work.
Yeah,
because we already have a game. We already have a game that deals with a motorcycle. Called Days Gone.
I guess the ones that are likely are maybe the Marvel stuff, maybe Punisher, maybe Ghost Rider. But those are the only likely ones. I just the other ones are like, I don't know what he's smoking.
Cowboy Bebop was the fifth one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That will not work.
Why would they give it to a Western developer? Well, I mean, I don't know. They could, but...
Why would they give it to a Western developer? I don't know. Why would Sucker Punch make a game about Japanese feudal Japan?
I mean, Western developers, I think, have done like anime, probably have done like anime games before, or games based on like anime properties, possibly. But I don't know. I feel like it's unlikely, though. I think if we were to get a Cowboy Bebop game, it would be
terrible.
It depends on what kind of game it is. I don't know.
Like, honestly, here's what I would want. And I'm not saying it has to be exactly like this. I would want the Cowboy Bebop game to play like Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, so like kind of like Gears of War like gameplay, but like
I wouldn't really necessarily say like that,
because Mass Effect 2 played like a cover shooter.
I was meaning like that. Like, yeah, there are parts where they had to take cover so they can shoot.
Yeah.
But it's like
I don't know. It's hard to say what kind of gameplay a Cowboy Bebop game would have.
I would say like kind of like Mass Effect, because it takes place in a futuristic setting, but also gameplay like Elite Dangerous, because there are times where they have to go from one point of the galaxy to another. Yeah, also with ship combat. But then again, did they ever have ship combat in Cowboy Bebop or no?
I've only seen parts of the show. I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
First you hadn't seen Hades, then you haven't seen all of Cowboy Bebop. What's wrong with you? I'm 29 and I've at least seen Cowboy Bebop and played Hades.
It's in my backlog. I have it. I still need to watch it.
That's your homework assignment for the end of this podcast.
I need to find it, though. That's the problem with having a collection of anime. It's buried somewhere in my shelf. I don't know where I put it.
Yep, can confirm. I have boxes of movies and stuff I hadn't even put away yet. Some of these game suggestions are just like, I can't see it happening. I mean, I have to wonder if they're even going to do, like, are they ever going to do Last of Us Part 3? Like, are they going to do that, or are they going to focus on something else? I think what they're going to do is they're going to do like they did with Last of Us Part 2, which is they'll port the second one over to PS5, and then 3 years from now, after that, they will make a Last of Us Part 3.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to get revenge on Abby. Doesn't get revenge again.
Yeah, Abby will be the main character.
It's like the Punisher. I'm going to get revenge on the people that murdered my family. He doesn't get revenge.
That'd be funny if they just, the Punisher game they make, they just have Frank, like, he just forgives the people that murdered his family or something. It's like, it's okay. I'm not going to be the Punisher. And he throws away the Punisher jacket.
And he ends up getting murdered.
He gets shot in the head or something. The end.
Yeah,
And
that's
then it was
all
like
it is.
Ryan Johnson was one of the co-writers or something like that. He subverted your expectations.
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus, no, just don't do that. Oh, what was it? I'm trying to think. There was a tweet that went around. Apparently, Naughty Dog had concept art for a fantasy type game,
Oh boy.
and they're trying to look for like an artist or something. I forget what they were doing, but I just saw that I put directed by Neil Druckmann.
Yeah, fantasy game. I just don't know. I don't know what we can expect from Naughty Dog at this point. I mean, I'm honestly shocked they're even still a functioning company with all the fucking bullshit that apparently the employees have been put through, and them having, cycled through all these different new employees and all that. So I don't know. I'm not really excited for whatever they're gonna do next, though. I'm definitely not really going to financially support them. I know that, so I won't really care about whatever game they're coming out with next.
Yeah, it's like, Lord knowing they're probably going to make an Uncharted game for the PS5, and it's not going to be the same.
I thought they were done with the Uncharted series, though.
Well, if they're done with Uncharted, it's going to be done with Nathan Drake. They're probably going to have like their kid.
That's what I thought too, but I was told that they were apparently officially finished with it. But I mean, I don't know. I guess at this point, it's pretty much anything's possible.
Or what they could do is like they pull like an Indiana Jones, which is like, hey, it's like, hey, this kid's gonna be the next Drake to explore, but then fucking Nathan Drake grabs his fucking jacket. It's like, nope.
I mean, they already laid the groundwork for it at the end of Uncharted 4 with Nate having a daughter, which apparently was Druckmann's decision because Amy Hennig, I think, who was working on the game, wanted Drake to have a son. And Druckmann was like, no, it needs to be a daughter. And of course, that's why he has a daughter, which it's
honestly
kind of a pointless change, but okay. I think he just did that because he's this admitted feminist, so that's probably the reason why.
Honestly, I would have seen him having a son. It would have made a lot more sense, and here's how. It's another what if scenario. Like, Drake has a son, but he is named either Mark or Sully because later on, or he'll name him I think he'll name him Francis after Francis Drake because that's what he made him, Nathan Drake, who he is.
Yeah.
He'll name him Francis, and then later on, Nathan Drake will become the new Sully because Sully will be dead.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot more sense. The Uncharted 5, A Thief's Return, or some shit.
And
like
also
that.
Characters like Nadine I think Nadine was also an addition from it was Druckmann. I think that was Druckmann's idea.
Yeah, because Sam Drake was supposed to be the main antagonist.
Yeah, because apparently, Druckmann wanted to have a strong woman throwing fucking Nathan Drake around and just beating the shit out of him.
A strong black woman, to be precise.
Checking all the boxes.
Yep. And then Rafe, I think it was like Sam was supposed to be the main antagonist. Rafe was supposed to be a secondary antagonist, but they switched it around.
Honestly, as cliche as that story might have been, I think it would have been more interesting,
believable.
Because as Sam at the game, he's just kind of there. It would have been a better character arc, honestly, if he just turned into a villain.
It's like it's like in the game. It's like, yeah, I'm Nathan Drake. I'm being a smartass. And it's like, hi, I'm Troy Baker playing a Troy Baker character.
Yeah,
I'm just here. Okay, I'm gone for a while.
That was weird.
I'm gonna come back.
He's not in the game for a while, and he comes back all of a sudden. I was like, oh, okay.
It's like, oh, hey, I'm Troy Baker again, and I'm actually working for the villains for right now. I'm gonna go by, and then moments later, oh hey, I'm Troy Baker again, and I'm actually a good guy now, just to let you know. And then I'm gone again because the game's over. And then, oh hey, I'm Troy Baker again, and I've returned for Lost Legacy because I want to bang 2 chicks at once.
I actually never really got around playing Lost Legacy. Apparently, I haven't really messed too much, to be honest, because I heard it was okay, but it wasn't like...
It was short, shorter than the other Uncharted games.
I mean, it makes sense. I think it's pretty much like standalone DLC.
Yeah, standalone. Like fucking Miles Morales, which is a good example of a standalone DLC or a standalone epilogue.
Mhm.
Which I platinumed that game within like a month. Because I had been busy with other shit, so I didn't get a chance to play it and platinum it.
Yep. But I think we can go on to the
We can move on to
one.
the last one, which I deemed called Lovable Asshole. This has to deal with Scott Pilgrim coming back with this complete edition, and special snowflakes proclaim the titular character to be unlikable and that no one should look up to him as a person. How fucking stupid is that?
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, well, I don't know as much as you about like Scott Pilgrim, but like you said, the point, like, you know, is Scott Pilgrim is just supposed to not really be a
likable character. Like, he is, but not really.
Yeah, but it's like,
and it's
I mean, even so, it's like, what really is the problem with that, though? I mean, I don't really understand what the issue is. I mean, there are plenty of characters in fiction that are unlikable on purpose, and I mean, some of those characters go through a character arc where they become better over time, and some of them are just not supposed to be liked
until later. Like, a good example would be Steve from Stranger Things.
Yeah, exactly.
Very unlikable until the end of season 1, and then he became everyone's favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of examples you can point to.
Yeah, Steve from Stranger Things, Zuko from Avatar. Another great example. Even Scott Pilgrim is a good example, because it's like, but not really, though. I don't know. Because they try to make him an asshole. It's like, oh, he's dating a 17-year-old high schooler. And it's like, he's 23. That's creepy. It's like, he's from Canada. Their age of consent laws are probably different than ours.
Yeah.
Oh, he manipulated this poor girl's heart to go after this other woman, breaking her heart. At least he didn't do anything to piss anyone off.
Mm-hmm. It just kind of sounds like they're applying their standards of you know, their own, you know, like, because they're probably not from Canada, so they're probably like, you know, from America or something, and they're like, well, that's not how it works here, so it shouldn't work that way there. I mean, maybe not, but you know, that's just how it works over there. So it's like, why the hell? And it's like the same thing with like other cultures fiction too. Like, people from America will be like, well, that's terrible, you know, why does it work like that? I'm like, well, it's another culture, you know. It's like, it's not your culture, so why the hell are you trying to apply the standards of your culture to another culture? Like, that's not, you know, it's like, to me, that's just kind of, it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of stupid to do that. It's like, you know, they're not from America, so they don't think like Americans, and they don't have the same culture as Americans. Like, this is just common fucking sense. Like, but of course, people, you know, a lot of SJWs just feel the need to basically just apply, you know, try to change things, because they're like, oh, well, this isn't the way I want it to be, so it needs to be changed the way I think it should be, you know. It's just like, probably like the thing with Scott Pilgrim. It's like, well, he needs to be rewritten because he's not the character that I think he should be, you know. He's a bad character, you know. He should be written this way, or you see this example, like, you can point to other stuff too, like art, like where they see like somebody draws like a curvaceous woman or something, and then they have a problem with it because like she has assets or something. It's like, well, now we need to redraw this character because she's not drawn properly, you know. And then you get people that will draw a character that's based on their interpretation of the character. Like, example, I remember this very well from the Steven Universe fan base. Someone drew a character from Steven Universe, and they drew the character in their own way, and people told them to go kill themselves. I think they told her to kill herself because it wasn't how it's supposed to be. You ruined the character, and I'm just like, this is why nobody likes your show. Yeah, this is why they think you're a toxic fan base, because you are. Even the creators are calling you out.
Yeah, Rebecca Sugar came out and said, "Hey, y'all being dicks. Calm your tits."
Yeah, but
here's a tweet I found. Now that Scott Pilgrim is bit again, just remember that Scott's the biggest asshole and should not be looked up to. Sparkles. Yeah, they had the fucking emoji for sparkles. Pretty gay.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I just
come from video games, stay for the story about a guy who slowly unfucks himself.
are they talking about them, or are they talking about?
Someone, yeah, apparently that's what someone did. And apparently this person responded, guys, I know what happens. I've read the comic series a million times. I love it so much. Okay, if you love it so much, why the fuck do you call him an asshole? It's like, yeah, he is one, but he redeems himself at the end. He learns a lesson.
Meaning how you leave that part out?
Scott really does suck. Okay, how does he suck? I get it. He fucking broke a girl's heart. That's most people in relationships. Hey, it's not working out. I'm breaking up with you. And they find someone that's better.
Yeah.
That actually meets their needs and meets what they desire.
Yeah, like this stuff happens in real life. So people are bad because they break up with you and potentially break your heart. Like, that's just part of life, dude. Like, that's not like that doesn't make you a terrible person. I mean, maybe the circumstances of it.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how it happens or the context behind it. But I mean, usually it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just something that happens. Like,
at least he didn't say, "Look at my dick. I'm a romantic now."
yeah, it's like. Yeah, at least he's not a fucking like some sexual predator or something like that. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, like his fucking gay roommate.
Oh, but we can't talk about that because he's gay. Can't do that.
Oh no, you make a really good point, like how he's not a sexual predator. Meanwhile, you have Wallace Wells, who fucking goes after someone's boyfriend and makes him gay. But he's not the asshole. No, he's just so flamboyantly gay.
Yeah, and they won't call that out either because he has because he's gay, so he can pull the gay card and be like, well, we can't do that because he's
you're going against the LBGT community.
Yeah. So therefore
asshole.
we must shit on Scott instead.
Here's the end of the deal. I know he's an asshole. He learns a lesson at the end. It's a good story about redemption, even though it's also not that best of a story. But then again, Brian Lee O'Malley makes good stories about that.
And this is the point too. Like, SJWs don't understand they don't understand redemption arcs, and they usually can't write them because the characters they write are usually like perfect. Or they're infallible, and if they have flaws, then it's because of somebody else and not themselves. So they don't know how to do redemption arcs. They don't know how to write characters that feel human or flawed, that go through any kind of a redemption arc, because it goes against the things that they that their social justice mindset wants them to think.
Yeah, exactly. It just becomes pointless to this point where it's like you can't explain someone to SJWs like, this person's redeeming themselves. Oh yeah, but he cheated on this girl with this one. It's like, he broke up with the girl though before it got too serious. But then they're like, yeah, I cheated on you. It's like, that wasn't really cheating unless you actually fucked her or did something like that.
Yeah.
Alright, sweet.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we have anything else to say about that.
I don't know. Like, can you really think of like a character where it's like okay, let's look at the opposite. Let's look at a character that isn't really considered to be an asshole, but he has no way of redeeming himself.
You mean like a villain character?
Or them? No, a protagonist. Like a good character. Like,
he's an asshole, but he has no way of redeeming himself.
Yeah. I kind of want to say like Majima, but he's not really much of a good character. He's like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But he's an asshole in a good way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess I could think of like anti-heroes. I can
think of one character that is somewhat of a complete tool, but every time they think they redeem themselves, but it's not really. Which is Rey Skywalker.
Well, she's just a Mary Sue. So I mean.
Exactly, but in my opinion, she's more of an asshole.
Yeah, she is that too.
I have the Force. Look at me. I can pull up rocks with the flick of my wrist.
I mean, you could also bring up. I mean, in that regard, you could bring up characters like Korra.
Yeah, I can actually say that. Because I know a lot of people said that she was made to be obnoxious. I was like, she's not really obnoxious.
Well, she's a Mary Sue. She's basically like a Mary Sue, kind of like Rey is, or she just has all the powers of the Avatar, just kind of handed to her.
Yeah, or except for air. For air. She's very condescending and very, I wouldn't say preachy.
Bitchy.
She's like. Bitchy, yeah, bitchy's the right word. I don't need to learn air. I learned all these by myself. Why the air sucks? I don't want to use air. And then fucking Tenzin throws a chair at her.
A character that's okay. So a character that's beyond redemption. Does it have to be the protagonist?
It could be like a character the protagonist is alongside with.
Griffith from Berserk.
Griffith. Hey, Griffith did nothing wrong. Leave Griffith alone.
No. Is when I think beyond redemption.
You know what?
I
don't want to say. I'm kind of going to take a hot take with this. I kind of want to say Zelda from Ocarina of Time.
Oh, really? Why?
Basically, I found this little fairy boy in the woods. Hey, can you do this for me? Can you go grab all these stones and try to save the world? Okay, gee, thanks. Oh, hey, I had to leave because Ganondorf was attacking us. Here's the ocarina. I'm going to give you the key to the door. Here's the Master Sword. Oh, hey, 7 years passed, and all of life as we know it has gone to shit because he took over.
So was the Ocarina of Time version of Zelda like the worst version of her, basically, or?
I just don't care for her as much. Like, but I get it though. Oh, she becomes Sheik. I guided you. It's like, oh, but you ruined this kid's childhood. You took that away from him.
Jeez.
Honestly, the best version of Zelda would have, or Ganondorf would have to be from Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Because Zelda's not really shown until towards the end, and she kind of doesn't give a shit that she's not. She doesn't give a shit about being Zelda. She's like, "Hey, I'm a pirate. Leave me alone."
Yeah.
While Ganondorf's reasons of doing what he's doing, it's actually more validly sound.
Mm.
However, his death is more gruesome because it's from an E game.
Well,
rated E for everyone. Impaled with a sword in the head.
Yeah, that's it's a little pushing it a little bit. But then I guess you would say the edgiest Zelda was Twilight Princess.
And I don't understand why people criticize that for being different, yet they'll praise Skyward Sword for being different.
I thought Skyward Sword was like the most, was like kind of mediocre
overhyped.
in a lot of people's opinion.
No, actually. Apparently, it was considered to be one of the best Zeldas.
Well, I heard somewhere,
and it's not.
Like I heard somewhere that people were like kind of mixed on it or something. Or I don't know. Maybe I just.
The people that played it are mixed. Critics are high. Okay. And it's the same thing with Breath of the Wild. Honestly, I would rather play Breath of the Wild than Skyward Sword any day.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we should probably yeah.
Let's move on. And I did not need to see that, so bye Twitter. Rule 3463, Tails and Sonic gender bent. It's like, I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah, once you get into Sonic stuff, that's when you get into the degeneracy.
But they weren't anthropomorphized. They were actually like human. They wannabe furries.
Like live action Sonic porn.
Ugh. No, Jesus.
Kind of reminds me of the fucking SpongeBob porn parody.
Honestly, that one sucked. Honestly, the best porn parody was The Room. I got these great pornos for me and Lisa to watch. It's like, you're not fucking my mother. And hello, doggy style.
Yeah. Yeah, they just had fun with that.
Well, it's official. I definitely got breast implants.
It's actually kind of like almost funnier in the original, where she just says like, well, it's official, I definitely have breast cancer or something like that, and it's just like, what the fuck? I would have first watched that.
No. Here's why it's funnier and like funny in the room of that, because that's all she would bring up. Yeah. Every time they would come visit, she would come visit. My breast cancer, and then they talk about how Johnny is an ass, or how Lisa says Johnny's an asshole. The mother's like, Johnny doesn't drink. He might beat you around, but he doesn't drink.
Oh,
and then you have, I'm in love with Mark, not Johnny. It's not right, Lisa. It's like, skip every scene with them.
Yeah, they don't really add anything to the movie.
No, it added comedy gold.
Yeah, true.
I'm fed up with this world.
Yay! Anyways, so the end question.
Let's or things that we like so far.
Yeah, you can go first.
I actually don't know about this week. I kind of just have nothing in particular so far, unless I could just say like, fuck.
So
I would say just PlayStation VR, because I've been getting around to playing that more recently.
Okay.
Because Beat Saber is fun. It's enjoyable.
I heard this. That's like one of the games you need to play in VR. I will say once I get a VR headset, I'll probably play Half-Life Alyx.
Jesus. I would say like Beat Saber, Half-Life Alyx for you. Pistol Whip is also good. Motherfucker! I said blast you. Don't do that again.
Got the virus.
Oh, god damn it. No, that's it.
I'm transmitting it to you through the internet.
Trump was going to pardon you, but not anymore. He was going to pardon you today or yesterday, but that didn't happen.
Well, he should have pardoned Julian Assange.
Oh, I actually know one instead of like VR. I tried out the Little Nightmares 2 demo, and I actually liked it. It was actually a big improvement over the first game, and I actually am willing to. I'm actually not waiting, but I'm actually wanting to like get the full game whenever it comes out. Might just get the deluxe version for $40.
Yeah, I want to play that because the first game was really good. I still need to play
the first game was really good, but it was too short.
Yeah.
Same. I need to play the DLC.
Yeah. So I guess I'll get into. I'll get into some stuff I liked. It's kind of hard to come up with some stuff, but I guess first of all would just be the Fate Hall of Taraxia. It's I started playing it. I hadn't actually I played a little bit of it before, but I'm playing it through my channel now, or for my channel now, and a lot of it's going to be blind because I haven't actually played the whole game, and I think it's been translated for a couple of years now. So I'm definitely late on getting on that, but glad to finally be playing it, because pretty sure a lot of people found my original channel through Fate playthroughs and the Fate Stay Night and the Type Moon stuff. So yeah, but yeah, excited to start playing that game. I know I'm probably not going to expect the game to have a big emphasis on the plot, considering there's just a lot of slice of life stuff in the game, but it kind of has a plot in the background, but a lot of it's just, there's a lot of slice of life stuff in the game too. So it's I'm kind of like, I guess you'd say, tempering my expectations in terms of expecting the game to really be heavy on the plot. But I mean, that's fine. It doesn't need to be. But it is kind of weird because it sort of also acts like a sequel to the original Fate Stay Night visual novel, because it sort of follows up. It technically takes place 6 months after the events of the original, but I think it's like they're stuck in a time loop or something. I forget the exact details of the plot were, but it's kind of weird. But yeah, I guess I'll just find out more as I get more into it. But yeah, I'm excited to get back to that. So I guess you could say that's something I like this week. I guess one other thing is, I'm slowly making my way through the Dark Tower books. Stephen King's The Dark Tower. I'm on the third book. The first two were pretty good. I'm enjoying the series so far, but there's like 8 books. So it's just going to take forever for me to get through these books. And the one I'm reading right now is like 500 some pages long. So it's probably going to take a while to get through. I don't read, I read pretty fast, so it shouldn't take me too long. But so far the books are pretty good. If you like Western mixed with like some horror elements and steampunk kind of sci-fi stuff thrown in there too, then you'll definitely enjoy the books. They have really good characters. The main character is more like an anti-hero though, and he's based on Clint Eastwood's the Man with No Name, the Clint Eastwood Man with No Name character from the Man with No Name movies. I don't forget the exact name of them, but like, you know, that character. So it's kind of like that, and the books also reference a lot of Stephen King's other works. So like stuff like It and Salem's Lot, because there's a character from Salem's Lot that actually shows up in, I think, the 5th book. And there's also some like there's multiple dimensions in the books. There's like the world that the books are set in and the real world, and the characters kind of like cross over into the real world at certain points. So if you like stuff like that, then you'll definitely enjoy the books. It's not really Stephen King's, like, I guess you'd say, like typical stuff you would associate with him, like, you know, the typical horror stories. It's a little bit different. So it's more like, it feels more like, you know, kind of like a fantasy epic, but it just has, it's more like a Western with steampunk and sci-fi and horror elements, I guess. But it kind of feels like this long-running fantasy series, just from the way it's kind of structured. But yeah, they're really good books. I highly recommend them. Yeah, that's the other thing I've been, I guess, getting into, because I just started on the 3rd book.
I know the movie's
The movie's
terrible.
trash. Don't watch it. It's not even based on any of the books. It just like references things from the books, but it's not really based on any one particular book. Also,
so it's kind of like, sorry. So it's kind of like the Captain Underpants movie, where it's like it's just its own movie, but they make like references to other books.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Except that one was actually good.
Yeah. I don't know why they decided to do that, because I'm just like, why didn't you guys just make a series? Like, to me, it would just make sense to make a series, considering like it's 8 books. Like, why don't you just make like a TV series out of it? Like a movie.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was gonna say, so the 3rd book, yeah, it pretty much starts out like it already starts out pretty fucking crazy, because there's it immediately starts out with a giant fucking bear going after like the main character, you know, the main character and his crew, I guess you would say, you know, his the other characters. It's a giant, like, what would they say, like a 70-foot tall fucking bear that, yeah, like I looked it up on the wiki, because there's a wiki for Dark Tower, and it's called, like, I think the bear's name is like Shavik or something. It's a bear that has, like, it looks like it has cybernetics in the bear inside of it, and it has, like, it's just this giant fucking bear, and it's apparently gone crazy because of parasites in its brain. So it's just like roaming around the forest, just destroying shit, and anybody that enters this forest it tries to kill. So yeah, that's pretty much how the story's starting. It starts out, and I'm just like, Jesus, things just kind of, like, the 2nd book started off a little bit slow, but this one just kind of kicks off just already is fucking crazy. I mean, well, to be fair, the 2nd book started off with giant man-eating, or, well, not man-eating, but giant lobsters that kill people. So that's yeah, I mean, that one started off kind of weird too. So and the lobsters also chant when they come near you. They chant, "Did a chalk, dad a chum." No.
People.
No. The lobsters in the book, they chant, "Did a chalk, dad a chum." Did a chum or something like that. Just repeat it, just repetition, like just repeat it as they go up to you and fucking kill you. Basically, try to kill you. It's pretty fucking creepy to think about, but yeah, it's like I said, good books. Highly recommend them.
Grab people. People grab. No, every time I think of lobsters, I'm thinking of like the fucking mud crabs from Fallout.
Yeah. If you've seen that meme, actually, I think if you've seen that meme where it's like level 1 character in like an MMORPG or whatever, and it has a picture of that dude like whacking like lobsters with a stick, the shirtless dude whacking lobsters with a stick, I think it was. I think that's actually taken, like that might have been, I think that's one of the illustrations from Dark Tower. So that's actually, I think, from one of the books.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's what I've been getting into. Anyways, I guess, you know.
Sorry, I found an article that's actually funny on Twitter. It's like, police, okay, this is from a report from the police. Woman tracked down her brother's suspected killer, murdered him, and then sent a text to her dead brother afterward, letting him know she had avenged him.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, so let me get this straight. A fucking woman who found the killer of her brother, but the police didn't.
That's pretty sad, actually.
Give her a police job.
Well, you know they'll probably just lock her up now because she fucking murdered somebody, but, you know, yeah.
Well, honestly, it was well justified.
Yeah. I mean... Oh yeah, I mean vigilante justice. I was about to be like, should she really be though? But I guess technically, yeah, because you can't really do vigilante justice. That's against the law. But I can't really hate her for doing something like that. Though it's like, he probably deserved to die. He's a fucking murderer, so I can't really. I don't know. I just can't really condemn her for it. Honestly.
Well, apparently, from what people are saying from this one, apparently he was suspected of killing him.
Oh, so she didn't know.
But it could have been.
Yeah, that's...
If somehow if that is the person that did it, it's like, hey, let her go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's room for doubt, then... if it is him, then sure, but... If it's not, then she just killed an innocent person. So
pretty much, yeah. Anyways,
okay. So the recurring question: what game that you would? Okay, what is a game you could recommend to people, but not really? What do you mean by that? Like, you mean
like a game that you like personally, but it's like a genre that you don't think other people would enjoy. Like a good example would be like Death Stranding. How,
or just like
if you enjoyed it,
that has stuff that people might not like, but has some good things in there too. Basically,
yeah, like good things that they would enjoy, but at the same time, you couldn't really recommend it to them. Like I know for a fact, like Death Stranding is like a good example because like most people would like it, but a lot of people won't. Mm-hmm. It's one of those. But also, I know a game that I would play. The Secret Service agent heroically dives in front of a strong breeze that could have killed Biden. It's not a real article, but it's just fucking funny.
So
look out,
so did you already give yours then?
Oh, okay. No, I was just using Death Stranding as an example. A game that I would highly recommend, but I wouldn't know. I think you can go first. I got to think of mine.
Okay. Okay, so mine would be like a Deadly Premonition, at least the first one. The game, I say that because the game, it's like it's definitely a good game because it has, quirky characters. It's pretty much like Twin Peaks the game, so if you're a Twin Peaks fan, you definitely want to play it. It has stuff to like, but it also has a lot of technical problems. Unfortunately, Deadly Premonition 2 also very much doubles down on the technical problems, so I could recommend the first one. I'm not so sure about the second one. I just don't know if I could really recommend that one. The Drakengard series, or at least the first Drakengard. The first Drakengard is a fucking crazy game. I mean, it is done by Yoko Taro, so it, the story is pretty, like, it's basically, the main character makes a pact with the dragon to avenge his family, but the story becomes much more complicated than that later on. But the gameplay, like, it has a good story, and it has a really dark and twisted story that, goes some crazy directions with the multiple different endings you get in the game as if you keep playing the game. I can recommend the game for the story, but I can't recommend it for the gameplay. The gameplay is just really goddamn repetitive, and it's pretty much discount Dynasty Warriors in terms of how the game plays. It is kind of fun when you're riding on the dragon, or when you're doing aerial combat, but it's not as fun when you're on the ground, like hacking through hordes of enemies. That gets really boring and very repetitive. I can say the same thing about Drakengard 3. Good, interesting story, interesting characters. Gameplay is okay. It's more so the technical problems when it comes to Drakengard 3. Frame rate is terrible at times.
Yeah, especially for PS3 standards.
And also it has the worst, and I cannot emphasize this enough, the worst final boss you will ever play in a video game. Ever.
I've seen
it. It will make you want to kill yourself.
It does look terrible.
It's terrible. It's just awful. Like, I don't know how I managed to get through it, but somehow I did. I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. I'll just say that. That is how bad it is. Okay, so I'm trying to think of something else. Like, those are the ones that come to mind. I don't know of what else I could really think of. Yeah, I think
I could think of.
That's about it. You can go ahead.
I already know for one, because Stardew, I can recommend it to people, but there are some people I can't recommend it because I know for a fact they think Farming Simulator, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually not. Another game that I kind of want to recommend, but I know for a fact it won't get enough attention, is Valhalla.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, bartending game. Oh cool, visual novel type gameplay.
Oh, I want to kind of real quick, because there is one other, it's not really a game, but it's a visual novel.
Sakura Space, no. I called it.
It's really niche though. I did a playthrough of it on my old channel. That's one of the playthroughs that might be permanently lost because I don't know what happened to it, but it's a visual novel called Kara no Shoujo. It has an interesting storyline. It's kind of this dark, murder mystery story. And it has investigative segments. Like, it has interactive segments. So, like, you'll discover a crime scene and you can interact with the body and find clues. So technically it does have some gameplay to it. And there are choices you can make. The problem is that during these investigative segments, it's possible to miss things. And it's one of these investigative segments, there's a piece of paper, I think it was, like, lodged in some crevice that is very easy to miss. And if you miss this, then you will, at any point, if you fuck up these investigative segments, you can basically get into one of the dead ends of the game, so you can't proceed. So it's one of those games where, like, a walkthrough is pretty much required. I do not recommend playing this game blind at all, because you will not have a good time. Characters will get killed by the murderer in the game. Characters you talk to will, if you fuck up a choice or if you do the wrong thing, characters will die. They'll die, and that'll lead to a bad end in the story. So not only also is there investigative segments, but there are places that you need to go at certain points in the game. So there's a map, and you can go to different places on the map. But there are places that you actually need to go on the map. And if you're playing this the first time, you will not know that. So it's you basically need to know these things, or you're going to fuck up and get a bad end. And I had to play through the whole game basically using a guide. So like I don't recommend playing this game blind in terms of like not knowing what to do, because you will fuck up so many times. It's a really niche game, but it's I recommend it because, like I said, it does have interactive segments. So it at least has gameplay to it. But yeah, it's like I said, it's just one of those games where it's like you basically a guide is required, because it's so easy to fuck up in that game. But yeah, that's in terms of visual novels, that's one I could recommend, but also like I guess you'd say like you said before, kind of not, because of the way the game plays.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other games that I could recommend, but not really.
That's fine. I can't think of anything else. I mean,
I do have one. It's called Demon Crawl. Best way I could describe Demon Crawl, it's essentially a quote-unquote RPG, but it's a Minesweeper. A Minesweeper RPG is the best way I could describe it. And it's also roguelike, too, so... I just say it's eh. It's not bad, but it's like, I wouldn't recommend it because Minesweeper.
Yeah. Actually, I actually really played Minesweeper.
I think... Do you like Minesweeper, though? Oh, well, okay, I don't think you would like this game then very much. Another one is Boot Hill Heroes. It's like a Western game, but it plays like Earthbound. Like I can't really recommend it to people because I know people will probably be annoyed with the Western motif and the music and maybe the combat, but
Depends
it's a fun
like
game
Westerns.
from my perspective. Well, yeah, if you like, that's another thing too. If you like Westerns and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty enjoyable for why I played of it. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And also Among Us is another one I would recommend, but not really, because it's one of those games that, hey, if you have a good gameplay, good party, fine. But if you have people that want to play detective and get you kicked off and you hadn't done shit yet as the imposter, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say on that one. I'm done with that.
Yeah, but all being said, I think that about wraps it up. So I'll go ahead and show my plugs now. And now I'll show Levy's plugs.
They didn't mind. Yeah, they are.
Yep. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. It was a little bit different from what we usually do. I actually kind of like this format. It's interesting. Yeah, we might have to do this more often. But yeah, so that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.